Hey, what's up everybody? It's Bip. Just going to do a quick tier list for the ALGS champs that's going to start tomorrow. It's a little bit of a different tier list, as you can see. It's more of a which legends are we likely to see in the champs based off, a lot of the scrims that have been going on recently, and also just the strengths and the weaknesses of the characters. I'm not going to waste a lot of your time, just going to get through this really quick, so let's start. Okay, Ash. Firstly, I've got her in likely C. She's mainly useful for her ultimate. She's not as versatile as Wraith's ultimate, but it can be executed quicker to push fights, steal POIs, and rotate. Don't get a whole lot out of her tactical unless someone's stuck behind a object or a door or something. And her passive is also fairly useless in comp. Yeah, she's been a lot more popular on Stormpoint rather than World's Edge, so if we do see her, it's likely going to be on Stormpoint. Alright, next up is Ballistic. We're probably not going to see him in ALGS champs, but I think he does have potential to be played at the ALGS level, so I'm going to make my case for him. Having the ability to carry a sling weapon offers the team extra versatility, maybe allowing extra sniper or marksman to be held. Tactical lock on hit does like 10 damage, I'm pretty sure. The overheat does an additional 30 damage and puts the enemy in an animation, which is kind of nice if you're trying to win a gunfight. Ultimate only has a short cooldown of 120 seconds. It's most commonly used to int fights, but it can alternatively be popped to conserve ammo when sniping from high ground without the intention to move in, allowing your whole squad to shoot without the worry of running out of ammo. I see Ballistic being pioneered on squads who don't have a designated landing spot and struggle with contesting POIs on drop. One of these teams, let's say, they can land on the outskirts of a POI, given they can buy 120 seconds for the cooldown to loot before engaging. Their Ballistic would really only need one weapon in the sling, allowing the teammates to arm up for whatever loot is available to them for the coming fight. And so long as you're able to clear the fight or at least box an opponent to resupply the 30-second Tempest timer. This fight should typically involve, with the new patch, mainly white or blue armor, since they reduce the blue and purple armor drops on the ground. So these fights should be cleaned up quickly, and white and blue armor is pretty much cake for a gold SMG or gold AR, like just saying. Anyway, next up, Bangalore. You're going to see her. We've been seeing her. She's meta. Bangalore became a part of the meta when pro players claimed smoke nullifies aim assist. She's got a lot to offer in terms of utility. Smoke works as a rotate, revive, like cover for revives, as well as blinding third rage parties, allowing for less stressful fights. Carpet bomb covers a large area, does okay damage, and the stun's pretty friggin' nasty. A lot of the time, though, teams will be running Horizon, so they can just grav lift out of there. So usually the carpet bomb is mainly for making space and buying time. Okay, next up we got Bloodhound. We might see Bloodhound. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Firebeaver's Aurora or Disguised, which formerly known as Dude's Night Out, probably be running. That's Duke Blue and Xenox, I think. They used him a lot in scrims. Most people will take Seer over the Bloodhound, since he's a viable scan character. With the ult, he doesn't need a digi. With all of this this smoke that's going on, he can grief these smoke fights from range with his ult. Additionally, it gives him the ability to take smoke fights in the hip, which can increase his potential to win those fights since he's not locked in ADS. And his Raven can also help teams decide which way to rotate out of their original POIs. Okay, next up, Catalyst. She's also meta. You're going to see her. Wall now takes 30 seconds longer this season to charge, so it's 150 seconds total. She's still a really strong character for playing in the open as well as bunkering down. I don't think that cooldown does a whole lot, even with the shorter games now. Wall allows for rotations, resets, isolating fights / enemies, and sometimes buying extra time. Spike still does 15 damage a tick, which is kind of broken. When she came out, I thought that was a bit strong, but whatever. Excels over Caustic at bunkering storm point buildings, since there's usually more broken doors on storm point buildings. There's just a lot more breakable doors in there, and Catalyst being able to reinforce those empty spaces is really good. And yeah, next up, talking about Caustic. Where is he? There he is. We're going to likely see Caustic. Historically, Caustic has performed well on World's Edge. Just a strong legend overall. He is used on Stormpoint, but like I said, most of the buildings have more exposure compared to the World Edge buildings. So World's Edge is just easier for Caustic to bunker down in. You'll see him though, hopefully. Next up, Crypto. Okay, APAC North originally played the Crypto, and recently in scrims we've seen more of South America and Apex South teams running him in scrims. Onyx Jailing's Ascend represented him in the latest Mocklands. No changes to him this season either. As much as people dislike him in pubs, he's a very good character for ALGS. If teams continue to run Wattson or Caustic, and they will, we're just going to see the natural counter Crypto get picked. It's just how it is. Okay, so next up, Fusey. Putting him in, we'll see. Obviously, he's an all-around good character. TSM Reps has had a lot of success with him, and because of that, a lot of teams are going to copy him. I'll get to that eventually, but we'll talk about Fuse. We should have seen him more in the past splits. Not much has changed to his kit, honestly. He came out like this, and we're just seeing him now. An infinite knuckle cluster, supply grenade can be used to break doors, unprotected Wattson fences, rampart walls, Newcastle, defensively block pathways, apply pressure. The list goes on. It's ridiculous. His passive ability couples well with Horizon and allows him to get serious 3p damage from afar. Ultimate comes in handy both offensively and defensively. It's more of a scan and a deterrent rather than used for its damage value, which is iffy to say the least. But yeah, TSM Raps, like I said, he got value out of the Fusey, and in recent scrims, E6's K Swinney has been on him, LG Shivers, Dark Zero was running him, Onyx, Moist, Sentinels, and I think I saw Complexity as well using him. A great character pick for the anchor position as well, allowing them to contribute and steal picks. So not a entry fragger or a refragger. He's an anchor character. Okay, next up, Gibraltar. Might see him. Defensive bombardment going down from 270 seconds to 180 seconds is pretty huge. Shotgun received a little bit of a buff this season, and shotgun's going hand in hand with GB bubbles, so he really should be in the likely C category, but I feel like a lot of the teams won't pick him unless somebody else has success with him. I did see FC Destroy using him in Mockland though, so it's possible. Okay, Horizon. I'm not going to say much about her because she's broken. Black Hole timer was increased by 30 seconds to 210 seconds. Not a big deal. I think she's still too strong of a character. Gravity Lift is a free escape, plus her skinny hitbox and her passive all add up to just living longer. It's a bit unfair. Gravity Lift serves its purposes for teams looking to int, 3p, escape, or rotate. She's broken. We're going to see her. Full stop. Next up, Lifeline. I'll probably get shot down for this, but I'm going to put her in have potential. Yeah. Most people would put her in 0% pick rate, and that's fair. She's not as bad as she seems, honestly. It's just that other characters can, give you more utility. The box supply is free cover, it's meds, it's upgrades. Doc can save teammates, can save the meds on the team, which most people usually don't hold too many syringes and med kits. They're holding shield bats and feenies. So this saves you using those up. Doc res is still very strong so long as that player's not going to get angled. Having a Bangalore could help. So many teams get pushed as soon as one person usually gets knocked, and on a normal team, if they want to stick the revive, that leaves one person to hold off. But with Lifeline, you have two people to hold off, and you're likely going to get that person up. But yeah, she can just help delay enemies, supply heals, etc. Healing dock basically turns into healing dock with a shield bat basically turns into a 5-second Phoenix kit. Like that's pretty good as soon as you get picked up if she didn't have a gold. And yeah, basically if she does have a gold knock, once you're up, you're fighting, and that's it. Overlook her ult, but everything else she offers can be handy in a niche squad. Alright, Loba, I'm putting her in Will C. We usually do see NRG running the Loba. Not a bad idea. Really good late game when you can't move out of your position, but you still need to get ammo, you still need to get meds, and people around you are dying. So, really good safe character. You can use the bracelets for escape or just occupying spaces and buildings before enemies can. And the black market is now up to 150 seconds, so it's not that big. The 120 seconds is really short for an ultimate time, so the shops just boom, boom, boom. 150 seconds is a little more balanced, but yeah. She also kind of got a shadow buff, you could say, with the lower drop rate on the blue and purple armor, now that the shop can just like get that, and she can physically see the purple armors around, so that's really good. And yeah, she's just handy. She's a handy character. Next up, we got Maggie. I'm putting her in Might C. We might see Maggie. We've seen her before in ALGS, but not really used to great effect. I'm going to give my case for her right now. Maggie has the potential to be the queen of griefing. When space is tight, the drill can be held for opponents when used correctly. It can stop revives from being completed. It can steal kills. It can finish opponents. I mained her for a while on release, and you would be surprised at how much value you actually get from a well-placed drill. Her passive also highlights enemies. That's really handy. She pairs really well with Bangalore. Wrecking Ball is a good tool, again, with Bangalore Smoke. Its knockback can be fairly predictable. If you've used her a lot and you've hit a lot of people with that ball, you kind of know where they're going. And the stun also, does help out. The speed boost with the ball helps with rotations as well. Okay, Mirage. It's our first 0 pick rate. I think you could maybe run him. If you got to 50 points and you needed to win a game and final rings winning tight. You won't see him, but he could probably bring a bit of confusion with his ultimate in a end zone that's got 2 cat walls and Bangalore Smoke and Horizon ults everywhere. A bunch of Mirages just being there just helps with the mental stack. He can revive Invisible, which helps with Bangalore Smoke, again helping her meta. But yeah, don't flame me for this, for saying he could have potential, but yeah, we're not going to see him. We won't see him. Next up, we got Newcastle. Newcastle is a great character for competitive Apex, I think. The mobile shield allows cover in a multitude of different situations. Castle War allows his teams to create playing space from absolutely nothing, and it can increase the effectiveness of currently held space. Only one castle wall is allowed per Newcastle at any given time, so a poorly placed wall can usually mean life or death. 100 Thieves like using him. We've seen him be used a lot by them on World's Edge in the past, and recently KCP have been using him in scrims as well. They've been liking him, so probably see some Newcastle. Okay, next character in 0 pick rate is Octane. He just doesn't do a whole lot for the team, straight up. Great for pub stomping or whatever, but when you're in a competitive situation, he doesn't do anything. Jump pads aren't worth sacrificing the utility of other characters, like what they can bring to the table. They can be destroyed, unlike Chappy Zippies, Ziplines, but overall it's just not good enough, and he doesn't have a toolkit for competitive at the moment. Alright, okay, Pathfinder also is a 0 pick rate. Chappy simply does not do anything of value on a consistent basis for his team. The inability to take down a zipline once it's been placed allows his team to reposition so long as no one's looking at them, because they go in a straight line. It also gives opponents entry if you're distracted and can't get back to that zip in time. We'll probably only see 100 Thieves pick him if they're trying to troll their coach. Next up, Rampart. Putting her in likely C. We might see her at some point, Her walls allow her to make cover out of nothing, similar to Newcastle, but to a different effect. The amp damage is nice, but walls can be taken down easily, and if you shred them before they're even completed building, you conserve a lot more ammo, and you chew through her cooldown, meaning she can't put walls up. Shield is also powerful, but needs to be used correctly. We've seen Albraleli have some success in the past with her, so maybe some other teams who are in champs will, take her and let it rock. Next up, Rev. I'm putting him in Might C. For me, it's a bit early for Rev, just based on what his kit wants him to do and what space you actually have to play in the late game of a champs game. So I do see potential for him. Teams get the visual indicator on anyone who's low. His ultimate gives him more survivability in a fight, allows him to dip in and out of battles as it recharges. I feel like the pounce can be fairly niche. Its values increase with Forged Shadows due to the cooldown refresh on a knock, allowing him to put pressure on weakened opponents, escape, to recharge shield, or to take new angles. Disguised have been using him in Mock LAN. They got a lot of kills in the games that they used him in Bloodhound. We could see him being picked by them. Next up, we got Seer. We're going to see Seer. Most teams will go to Seer as their choice of scan character. Passive allows him to scout without using cooldowns, and more importantly, without being noticed. Amazing tool for figuring out if buildings are occupied. While it can be difficult to hit in a lot of situations, teams in tight spots can be griefed before making a move, especially due to the silence, so that's some nice late game potential for him. His Disco Ball ult is a great information gathering tool. It can be used to push, defend, or just deter opponents while you reset. Usually if you throw a Disco Ball down, a lot of people won't want to go in there. Next up, we got Valk. Again, another Will C character. We're going to see her not as much as we did before the evac tower came to the game, but she's still a good option. Chaining her ultimate with multiple balloons can help with really deep rotations, especially on Storm Point. If you're heading downhill, a Valk jump and a balloon would get you from the top of the map to the bottom. Easy. Missiles help apply pressure, and the stun can help lock enemies down while pushing and griefing or rotating in a team fight. Finally, we have Vantage. She's the last 0-pick great character I have. She's just not in a great place for competitive right now. Her ultimate allows her to apply pressure, but it's not typically utilized in the way it's designed to be. Her passive can help deciding which team fights to push, but you can get the same information from any of the actual scan characters in the game. She has a big hitbox as well, and her tactical requires space to play, which isn't viable late game or any time that people are looking at your fight. So she's just not in the right spot at the moment. Okay, Wattson, we're gonna see her. This is gonna be short. She's the queen of Bunkertown. She's got a great kit for competitive, and she's got a really good hitbox. Fences lock down space and allow teams to show face without actually showing face. So just letting other teams know that you've occupied something and don't come up here because we're going to shoot at you. Shield generator is insane. It preserves shield consumables. It eats projectiles. Say less. Okay, finally, Wraith. Putting her in likely C, just like Ashe. I don't have much to say about her. We'll likely see Wraith on teams that feel like they need some rotational help. Portal is more versatile than Ashe's, but is also slower to execute. And there you have it. ALGS champs tomorrow. These are the characters you're likely going to see, and the characters that you're probably not going to see. So, yeah. If you like the content, drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Who you going for? Peace out.